Hello and welcome everybody to day 13 of Expedition Online Season 2. I'm Jonathan Dykes. With me tonight in the commentator's booth, we have the winner of Season 1, Jessica Martin. How we doing today, Jess?
Good. That was one hell of a Crossroads last episode.
Yeah, last episode we saw as Maddie would spin out of the game as the wheel was not her friend. Madness. Justin decides to stick with the Team Ethans.
The underdogs. Yeah, it was a great move for him. I think he has a better shot to the finals and to win going with the former Team Ethan members than sticking with the original Janet party. And he knew that too. Made him think he was going to vote with them and vote Ryan off, and then changed his mind last minute. And
him deciding to, he had the one plan with Team Janet. He had them fully believing that they were all the way with him. And in that, give Daniel the confidence to hold on to his compass. Unfortunately for his alliance, left two members on the wheel up against Justin. Really sticks his neck out to put himself in a good shot now to get to the end. It's anyone's game still. It's hard to, you don't usually see that in these types of games with 5 players left. Usually there's one or two that are kind of vying for it and everybody kind of looking to get one person out, but that's not the case. 5 players remaining. That means 1 in 5 shot at winning the exemption challenge and being safe tonight. Compass is still in the air as Daniel didn't use it last episode, so still holding on to that. So we could still see some madness at Crossroads. I can't wait to see it. So let's send things over to...
Well, that went quite well. We spun the wheel. Maddie went home. That's great.
Absolutely devastated that Maddie's out. I felt like she was the one person I could really, really trust in this game. Rob, I now feel like I can trust because he was willing to go to rocks for me, and God bless him for that. It's just tough losing your biggest ally. So I'm going to have to try to pick up the pieces.
We went into Crossroads tonight thinking that we were potentially going to go to a 3-3 tie, knowing that Daniel has his compass and was most likely going to play it, and then Justin would flip from his vote to voting out the other member of their side, therefore allowing us to get through to Final 5 and enjoy the rest of the game kind of coasting. Justin was smart enough to see what was going on.
Oh man, another insane Crossroads. I feel like after this one I pissed a lot of people off, but you gotta do what you gotta do for your own game.
I'm grateful that it wasn't me tonight, but I do feel like Justin is keeping me and Gideon around as Team Ethan shields to prevent himself from being voted off.
Daniel may still have his compass. I really don't care if he does, if he doesn't, because I think it's about time that I might need to vote off Ryan anyhow, or get Rob to snipe him. It just depends on how tomorrow goes.
I made the choice not to play my compass tonight, which was incredibly nerve-wracking, but now I really feel like I need it for the next round, so I'm glad I have that in my pocket. It's the last time I can play the compass next time, so I hope is I can win the challenge, in which case I can play the compass for Rob if I needed to, but unless I win the challenge, I'll just play it for myself and guarantee that I get to the Final 4.
Tonight, I felt like I was in a spot where I had to make a choice, and I kept going back and forth with my choice of what is my right move, and finally made one, and I thought I was gonna end tonight thinking I made the wrong choice, regardless of which way I went, and actually, I think I made the right choice.
I'm in a decent position. I've kept Ryan around to try to shield me to go to, the next vote, but it's getting about time that it's too dangerous to keep him, so we'll see how it goes. Going pretty well. Hopefully I can make it to 4.
Gideon obviously needs Ryan in his game, because then he has at least someone that he could point to and say that person's a bigger threat.
Yeah, but I think Gideon's path at the end at this point is to keep winning.
Today's challenge is called Roly Poly. We'll go one explorer at a time. You'll have 3 opportunities to try to score as many points as you can. If it rolls outside of the scoring area, that's going to be 0 points. If If it lands in the closest area, that's 1, the middle area is 2, and the furthest area is 3. Good luck.
All right, welcome into our final 5 exemption challenge.
Woo.
Some people are ready to play. Let's get everybody in position because we're going to get going.
Interesting challenge here, Jess.
You guys are excited.
Yeah, this is a
Tell
new
yourself
one we've
you're
never
excited.
seen before.
Yeah.
I'm excited, Docs.
All right, we're going to go one explorer at a time. And we're going to start in alphabetical order. So Daniel is going to get the first roll. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and roll that can down that floor.
So already we have a couple
There it
different
goes.
strategies by these players. There's 2 of them are on carpet, 2 of them on wood. I wonder how that's going to play out.
Wow, what a
The
first
fun thing
shot.
about Expedition Online is
oh.
you
I
control
spoke too soon.
some of the elements of the competition.
Yeah.
So as soon as you figure out what it is, I mean, all's fair, and you just have
still
to
scores.
meet the guidelines.
Sitting there right in
Yeah.
the middle. I think we're just going to let that one settle out, and we're going to go to Gideon
I feel
for the
like
next
I'd
roll.
lean towards carpet for this one.
Yeah, I think so
first
too,
roll,
because the
Gideon.
wood is kind of hard to control. Now the tape on the wood is gonna, if you get it light enough and you get it in there, it could kind of hold
A lot
it.
of mustard on that
but
shot.
Yeah.
Carpet,
Justin is
yeah,
up.
I think carpet's gonna be a little bit easier. We'll see what Ryan's first thoughts, but
Just keep rolling and rolling and rolling.
yeah, see, and it
Keep
just
rolling
spins
downhill
out.
there. All right, Rob, you're up with your first shot.
Just unfortunately, it looks like he is going downhill, which is not gonna help him.
To the
Oh,
side.
Rob can stay straight on the carpet.
Ryan, his first shot.
uneven.
It's going to take a little finesse to get that rolling the right way.
Yeah,
And Ryan is a little bit short.
Too
Doesn't
short.
matter where it ended up on this one because the scoring
what
will occur at the very end after all 3 shots. So
Yeah.
we will start with our second round. Daniel, you can shoot whenever you want.
so the players can bump their cans up. So I mean, I don't know what kind of strategy the players gonna put. Yeah, smart one, just aiming for that can because he doesn't need to
Daniel
put too much further.
Has a
Daniel's in a
formidable
great
2
spot right
cans
now.
in the
Mm-hmm.
box.
That is
Gideon
right where
is
you
up.
want to be. Gideon, way too hard. That's
Gideon
right.
is going to
Oh,
look at that.
stays in.
Comes back.
Gideon got a little backspin on it, maybe too much. Nope, that looks like it's gonna settle into
He'll
one.
take it.
Oh, yeah.
Justin's shot,
done?
his second shot.
Good. He's in.
Those little dorm floors all over the place. He's just in, unfortunately, looking too strong. God, no, Justin, no.
I
That
can't
is
believe what
rolling.
I'm watching. Justin's has gone a bit far. It's coming back.
Ooh,
See what
uh-oh.
happens with that one. I'm watching cans roll on the floor right now. That's what I'm doing.
And here for it.
Rob, your second shot.
So Rob's actually
I
on a
feel
rug,
like-
not on carpet. So,
Oh, he's
A lot of juice on that
way
one.
too much on that one.
Off the screen.
yeah, just
Yeah.
rocket
Ryan,
in
your
those
shot.
down.
So Ryan needs to bump it a little harder than he did last time for sure. Oh, that's gonna score. That's
Wow,
a 3
Look
spot.
at that one. All right. Our
That's looking
explorers
good.
have 2
Right.
shots. They're down
Ties
to their
Daniel.
last shot. We will take the score after this one.
I think Daniel just needs to hit those cans, kind of like medium
Daniel, whenever
strength.
you're ready.
It's like
Yeah.
curling,
Final
right?
shot.
Take. Oh, he went light. Going for the
If
guarantee.
Daniel wins, it will be interesting to see if he plays his compass
Daniel
on
has a
someone
nice
else.
collection of cans there. We'll just leave them there.
Yeah,
Gideon, let's get your third shot.
it looks like Daniel has 5 points right now. Potentially only 4 points, but it's looking like 5. So we're
Yeah.
gonna get a closer look at that. Looks like
All right,
Gideon.
leave them there.
Gideon's
Justin,
got
your
2.
shot. We're gonna go
Yeah.
one at a time when we do the counts as well. So Justin with his
I don't know
third
what
shot
Justin's gonna do here. You should put backspin on it.
barely touches it, and it picks up
flies.
so much
And
steam.
he,
He's got like a down slope
Oh.
there. Oh,
oh,
Oh. oh my goodness.
oh
I
man, yeah,
can't believe this.
he picked a shitty floor to use
Justin, you
today.
gotta
Yeah.
call your landlord and get those floors. Rob, your shot.
The things that will come into play in Expedition Online that you just don't even think of.
Rob going for broke.
Gotta think
and it
about
looks like
all
he
the
got it.
elements.
Do I have X? Do I have a dollar
Ryan,
bill?
your shot.
Do I? It's madness. You can never fully prepare for this game.
A
Ryan
little bit
chokes
short.
there.
All right. So we're gonna go one at a time. I'm gonna start with Justin. Justin, if you can show us what you got.
I think this is gonna be.
Confirming 0 for Justin.
I think it's gonna be for
Gideon.
Daniel.
Let's see what you've got. 2 points for Gideon.
Justin's got to be feeling nervous because he's got a big target on his back now.
We'll go
I think
Rob.
Daniel's gonna be boss at the Crossroads tonight. As he's got the compass in
Rob's
his
got
pocket,
3.
and it looks like
So
he's
Rob
gonna have
is in the lead.
individual exemption here.
Ryan, you've got looks like 3.
Yep.
Ryan's got 3. So Rob and Ryan both with 3. So now we'll go to Daniel and see where his cans landed.
So it's either 4 or 5, but I think that should do it either way, right?
Yeah.
So with 5 points, Daniel has 1 exemption.
Wow.
Congrats.
Finally won one.
Congrats,
Good job,
indeed.
Daniel.
That's a massive
Thank you.
exemption to win.
Daniel is exempt
Daniel
tonight,
now looking like a front runner.
and
As
the expedition
His
will end
resume
for one of the
stacks
other
up.
4. We're going to give you an hour to talk, so we will come back to Crossroads.
Yep, he
at
won
9:15.
when he needed it, and he still
Go
has
back to
that
camp and
compass.
talk it out, fellas.
and
See you at
how
9:15 Crossroads.
he plans to use that compass and the exemption is really going to be interesting. He pretty much has his pick on who goes home.
Bud.
Thanks, man. It was good to finally win one. Thought no one would ever take it off your neck.
Ah, dude, get off. I was feeling good beforehand, but they started rolling. I was like, man, I ain't going my way today.
Well,
So,
it's tough because you got that cramped space.
yeah, I was very cramped. I thought maybe I could pull something off, but either way, what I am happy though is that Ryan didn't win.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
Because while I didn't want to do it last time, and Justin was pushing me to go that direction.
Was he?
Like, "Ah, man." Yeah, he really was. He was like, I really want. He was like, I will go and split the votes as long as you agree to cut Ryan loose before Final Four. And I was like, I want to do that. I was like, I'm just scared of them 3. So, my thinking is Ryan's unbeatable in the end. And so, yeah, I wanted to and I'm sure Justin's talking to Rob about it too, because we're both thinking the same thing.
Again, I still, like I've told you, I think since Jared went home, my goal has been you and Daniel and me in the final 3. Again, I don't know where your 2 heads are at. At this point, I don't think it makes sense for any of the 3 of us to have Ryan or Gideon in the end, because I really don't think any of us 3 stand any chance.
I don't think so either. I mean, I kind of think like either Ryan or Gideon are good to go. Like I'd be fine writing either of their names down. I don't want to write your name tonight. I don't want to write Daniel's name tonight.
I'm not. I was coming in here. Had I won immunity tonight, I would have said straight up to Ryan, "I'm voting you." The only reason I can't say it to his face now, and I probably will like hint to him like I'm voting for you.
Yeah.
The only thing is obviously if Gideon has some kind of compass and he decides he's going to play it on Ryan and take me or you out. That's the only reason I don't want to just say straight to Ryan, like, I'm voting you. But at the same time, I honestly might just do it. I don't want to sit with either of the 2 of them at the end.
That's the thing. Like, they're both, great at comps. And so for me, it's not like, oh, Gideon's better at comps than Ryan. Like, they're equals in terms of their physical gameplay.
The only name I can think is Justin.
But it looks like Rob is talking to Justin, so...
That don't mean nothing. Rob and Justin are going to talk to everybody, so...
Okay.
But...
Yeah, I'm
down.
I'm down with that.
Okay. Alright, sounds like a plan.
Okay. Hi.
Hey, buddy. What are you thinking for tonight?
I'm thinking realistically, Justin. I feel like between him and Gideon, they've been the most out there, so I feel like we have a better chance at getting him out. Or
so
like, bring
why
him
Justin over Gideon?
Well, I thought you talked with Gideon, so maybe you guys were on good terms.
I mean,
Right.
Gideon and I have this little thing that we do where we talk every time, and then he lies to me, and I'm like, sure. But we've never actually once worked together.
Oh, I see. Oh. Yeah, that was my only reason. I mean, we could do.
So we-
I don't know.
So I could be convinced either way. My preference would be Gideon.
Really? Why is that?
I mean, Gideon just he's been the underdog the entire game. Like he's going to have some story to tell at the end. And I also think he's the hardest to beat in the exemption challenges. So if he's out, then maybe we'll have a better chance. Like, the rest of us all have a better chance to win tomorrow night.
That's true. But Justin is also a pretty good challenge player too. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Like,
yeah, Gideon has been the underdog, but Justin has been very out there too. Like as you saw at Crossroads. So he can also make a really good pitch.
He has. So yeah, what I can't figure out is, has that been like flashy gameplay that like will really get him a lot of credit, or is that just him pissing people off? And I can't tell either way. But I mean, either way, I'd rather vote them both off the next two. So it kind of depends.
Yeah.
It's a matter of what order we do it in, I guess.
Can tell me 100% if he is voting Ryan. He just said that he's obviously can't vote Daniel, but he wouldn't have voted him to begin with.
Yeah.
If Daniel has the compass, I assume he gives it to Rob.
He will, yeah.
Two of them are safe. So, and I think the four of us can't beat Ryan, and we have to just take him out now, and then it's basically me and you against Rob and Daniel.
I'm good with that.
So, is Ryan voting Gideon?
Ryan wanted to vote Justin, but I just told him Gideon.
Okay.
But Gideon wants to vote Ryan.
Officially?
I mean, he told me he did, but the name he's told me every single time has not ever actually been the name that he's voted, so I don't trust a word out of his mouth.
I mean, if we've got 2 votes on Ryan between Gideon and Justin, and then 1 vote on Gideon from Ryan, then I'm happy to, I feel like the important thing is that you and I vote together more than anything else. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy to vote Gideon instead of Ryan. I just want to make sure I'm alive if possible.
You'll be alive. I mean, if we could get the votes, then I'd rather do that. Again, if I hear your name even uttered tonight, I'll play my compass for you. So
I appreciate that. I think that's not a fear, but definitely something Justin said as well. Is like most likely scenario, Daniel plays the compass for you.
I think that's the assumption. The only thing I sort of had going through my mind was, if I had thought, like, if I absolutely had to, I could throw it on Ryan or something if I didn't think I'd get the votes for Gideon, but I don't know if I'm willing to make that big a move to save the biggest threat in the game.
That would definitely be a head-scratcher move, for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe more for the audience than for anyone in the game.
So, I think tonight is a pretty obvious pick between, like, me, Gideon, and Justin. Daniel obviously will not go for you. And, so everyone else, like, and I were talking, and we were just thinking, and Daniel, I talked to Daniel too, and the 3 of us are thinking Justin would be a good move to do tonight, just because he has been the biggest threat this entire game, even more so than me and Gideon. And you don't want him going to the final 3 because he's gonna win.
He's basically been controlling this post-rendezvous game from every like flashy big move has been orchestrated by him.
Yes.
So it's definitely a huge concern.
Yep, all the blind sides he's been the leader of. So
yeah,
that's who we're leaning toward tonight. I don't know if you want to hop on board that, but we think it would be the best move for everyone, aside from Justin, of course.
Okay.
But yeah, how about you? What were you thinking or feeling?
I mean, I'd just been having conversations, and I'd heard those 3 pitches. The Gideon, or Justin, and like there's merits to each, right?
So Ryan, I feel like the 2 of us are pitching against each other at this point.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that.
I think the 2 of us got to pitch. This is what I told Daniel before. I was like, I feel like at this point the 2 of us are pitching again. I think it's both of our only moves is to pit against each other. Because Daniel's most likely giving his. So I can't put a vote on Rob, knowing that that's probably where his compass is going. So I'm just letting you know, like, I have to vote tonight, I feel like, and I assume you're going to also vote for me. So I just wanted to just be.
I heard around.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah, and I assume your vote was going to go to me too. Like, I feel like the 2 of us are. It's both of our only options at this point, with Daniel winning and with him having the compass also. So, yeah. if one of us goes, sorry that we're done playing this game together.
I went into today with the sole goal of Ryan being the one to be voted out. I think he is the biggest threat, and like I've wanted for a while, Daniel and Rob are the two people I want to sit with at the end, and I think Ryan is the biggest threat if he somehow sneaks his way in. So I thought it was simple that everyone should be on the same page, that Ryan should be everyone's target.
Yeah, Justin is definitely a good player, and as of recently, he's really been controlling the vote.
Yeah, like the past few days, all the big moves have been orchestrated by him.
Ever since Jared, he kind of like has taken over the game strategically.
Taking control. Yep.
Yeah. So
like I don't say there's a hierarchy, but if there is one, then he's at the top of it. Just
yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
No, and I agree. And yeah, while like yes, obviously you're more likable than Justin, but he's also made big moves, like pretty big moves.
Exactly.
And because your threat status was so high so early, you've kind of had to just like slink in the shadows with him. So he's kind of come more towards the end, out as a threat, if that makes sense.
Down to our final 5. Tonight, our explorers will be voting somebody out to be the 7th member of the jury. It's most likely not going to be Daniel, who won exemption tonight. Daniel, you pulled half the votes at the last Crossroads. You must have been rolling cans like your life was on the line.
Well, so far there have been only 2 challenges I've actually been good at, and both of them have been some degree of can rolling. So I'm just really hoping that we can whip us up a can rolling challenge tomorrow night also.
Do you have a background we don't know about in can rolling?
Maybe not a background, but probably a future.
I like that. I really do want to do a deep dive into the last vote. Justin, I'm going to start with you. Daniel told me at Crossroads that he told you guys at camp that he had a compass. So you guys still voted for him. Can you talk to me about the decision to put your votes on Daniel given that information?
Yeah, we were going back and forth trying to figure out who it wouldn't get played on. And then Daniel had been saying all day, I'm going to play it myself. I don't feel safe. I'm going to play it myself. So at that point, it seemed more like don't want you to vote for me, so I guarantee myself final 4. So I think it was a huge risk that he could have played it and it would have saved him, but I think it was a risk that was worth taking so that, I mean, I guess it wasn't that worth it. We went to rocks. I don't know. Yeah, we just were like, take the risk, see what happens, roll the dice.
Yeah, Gideon, jump in.
So, like, basically our thought process was, like, throw out Maddie's name that we're going that way and see if Daniel will play it on her, but then, like, don't throw it at all. But, like, mine, Justin, and Ryan's thought process was also, like, if you say you're going to play it, usually you're not going to play it. Because Daniel was smart enough to hold on to the compass for a lot of tribal councils and nobody knew, and then he played it correctly and in a very smart way, and Daniel's a smart player, so we kind of figured it was kind of a double bluff at that point. Yeah, it was a big risk, but I actually think it was a smart move not to play it from Daniel, because if we go to rocks, he becomes immune. Spin the wheel, my bad.
Spin the wheel and exemption, but otherwise good. Otherwise,
yeah, sorry, it was a good move by him because it was a good move selfishly for him because he became exempt anyways, even if we went to the wheel.
So for you, this is a circular logic of if he knows that I know that he knows that I know, then I have to vote this way.
Yeah, it's in the show that we all love. If you're into like watching strategy videos, I really like those. They call it level 4 thinking, trying to think what your opponent thinks, what you're thinking, what they're thinking. It's level 4 thinking, which was
everybody has some homework to do tonight to go watch some level 4 thinking videos. Just curious, is anybody here Sicilian? No, because you never go against a Sicilian when death is on the line. Daniel, assuming you had a compass, because at this point it's just your word, you did have the chance to negate 3 votes and pick the player going home. Can you tell me what you were thinking when the votes were read?
Yeah, I mean, my thinking in general was that if I was planning to play it if I could get a decent read on where I thought their 3 votes were going, but it just didn't seem worth it to have only a 1 in 3 shot at potentially negating those votes. It seemed more worth it to take my chances with potentially going to the Wheel of Death. So when the votes were read, it's sort of a double-edged sword. I mean, obviously, it's never fun to hear your name written down, but if it had to be one of us, I actually wanted the votes to be for me because I felt very confident Rob and Maddie wouldn't flip, and by the 3 being on me, it meant either... I mean, I knew Gideon wasn't going to flip because he was exempt anyway, but I figured either Justin would flip and get out Ryan, or I'd be safe from the wheel.
Huge sigh of relief from you when the revotes were read. So there had to have been a little bit of concern there.
Well, there's the logical side and the emotional side. They're not always saying the same thing.
So I'm glad that you're talking emotions. I've been shut down before when I talk about the emotions, or when I ask about the emotions, I should say. Maddie and Rob did put themselves on the line for you, and then Maddie ended up going home as a result. What are the emotions for you when you see an ally basically fall on their sword for you?
Yeah, I mean, if there's anyone you should ask about emotions, it's probably the therapist. But yeah, I mean, if my confessional is one of the ones that gets aired, I think you'll see just like the sort of dismay. And I mean, at a point, you just step out of the game. I got a chance to talk to Rob today and basically tell him how touched I was that he was willing to take that chance for me. And when the game's over, I'm sure I'll get a chance to talk to Maddie about it as well. But it feels horrible, right? Like you can say all day how calculating you are and how it's objectively the right decision, but at the end of the day, Maddie's got what, like 1 vote, maybe 0 votes this entire game that wasn't negated, and she's on the jury, and I think she was playing an amazing game. I just don't think it's it's fair in the sense it's the rules of the game, but it doesn't seem fair in like a broader sense of justice.
So, and Justin, you explained yourself. Gideon, it's clear you were exempt, so there was no risk going to the wheel. So let's go to Rob on this. You are actually the only other player here who can talk about putting yourself at the wheel. So can you talk to us about your decision to do this?
Ultimately, first off, I had some idea that maybe someone else would flip on the revote, and so I didn't really foresee us going to the wheel. But right before going into Crossroads, I'd kind of come to the decision of if we go to 2 wheels, like I am totally okay with burning my game and ending it right here and now, so that we could, hold whatever alliance we have strong. And I kind of wish it was me who was selected instead of Maddie, because I do feel she has been playing this amazing game. But unfortunately, that's not what the wheel chose, and I'm still very grateful to be here and to be able to fight for my spot at Final Ascent.
But what I'm getting at is maybe on the discussion after the revote as well. I mean, you dug your feet into the sand, right?
Yeah.
And at this point, there's a 67% chance that it's either you or your ally that goes home. If you flip, there's a 100% chance that your ally Daniel goes home. Was this a missed opportunity to maybe negotiate yourself into the Final Four?
Some people could look at it like that. They could look at it and say, hey, this is going to have been the moment for you to take ownership of whatever part of the game that you feel and really put yourself further ahead. But in my opinion, that also means that I would have been backstabbing someone who I've considered an ally. And I don't think that that's the game that I want to be known for playing. It's not a game that I think I could even stand behind at Final Ascent. God forbid, God hope I get there. And it's also just not a game that I would want to...
Okay. And Ryan, at this time, you were pretty quiet when they were debating this and your life was on the line. Do you defer to other players in a live moment like this? Or did you feel like it was going your way and you didn't need to speak in? It wasn't necessary?
No, there was a high chance that I was going to be voted out that night, but there was a small chance that I wasn't, and listening to everyone's testimonies, I was really taking it in. So not just being there, but also observing everyone and seeing what their true intentions are behind everything they're saying. Are they trying to make other people believe a certain way, or what are they doing? And where is the vote going to go tonight? Daniel and Rob and Maddie had been convincing me to vote alongside them for Justin, and and so I talked to each of them, and they said Justin is bringing up your name and pitching really hard against you, and they had really strong arguments, and I just kept looking at
For the
Justin.
record, those arguments actually came straight from Justin, so that wasn't a lie.
Yeah, so I kept looking at Justin and I kept looking at Gideon and seeing, are we still on board to do Daniel? I had this mental moment, just staring at them throughout the entire game and seeing, all right, there's a tiny chance that they're still on board not to get me out. So I put all my faith into writing Daniel. I still have the board here. Sorry, Daniel. But it actually worked out, and I was so floored.
Gideon, I think everyone made it very clear where they stand. You were very strong on the revote where you stand. Does that make it difficult tonight when it's down to 5 to negotiate, or do you come back and reset?
Yes and yes. It's gonna be tough either way, just because I seriously do like all these people, and from what I've heard around camp tonight, the two names that were thrown out were Justin and Ryan. And so basically we know Daniel's won and he still has a compass. He's gonna play it on Rob, which he should, because Rob proved his loyalty and he deserves to be rewarded for that. So it was tough that that I'm being forced to choose between those two who I've played with ever since Jared's been voted out.
Justin, your name's being thrown out there. How does that make you feel? Do you know this?
Oh yeah, this is, the jury's probably gonna be shocked to hear this. Today I actually didn't do a lot of talking around. I stayed in the shelter, I would say, for 90% of the discussion, because I told Ryan I knew it was between the two of us. I have to put his name down. I know he's most likely putting my name down, and I didn't feel the need to actually talk to anyone beyond saying I have to put Ryan's name down, because I don't think it makes sense for any of the 4 of us not to vote Ryan out at this point. I think he's played the best game of the 5 of us, so I don't think for any of us to go against.
Why do you think I've played the best game out of the 5 of us? Can I ask?
Just your whole game style has been very. It's not going to mean much to you because you haven't watched it yet, but you're very just Yao man to me, as far as everyone loved it. People just you always were in the on the know. Everyone loved talking to you. You're a personable guy, and I don't think you've ever last night when we were voting people out and we were getting ready to go to the wheel. Your going away speech was basically, I love you all. If you have to vote me, I get it, but I still just know I still love you. And then you didn't go, so now everyone's like, holy shit, this guy's the man. So to me, it doesn't make sense for any of the 4 of us not to take Ryan out tonight. So that's just where I had my head's been all night, and I didn't see a reason to try and really scheme around it. Because to me, when I try and make a lot of plans, it's because I know other people's best interest is probably not what I want to happen. But because I truly believe all 4 of our best interest is for Ryan to go tonight, I don't think I need to do any scheming, because if everyone's voting in their best interest, 4 votes should go to Ryan.
You see, the thing is that you have been doing scheming, and scheming is honestly pretty respectable in a strategy game. Whereas I have been here, and although you may say that I'm likable or personable, that only takes you so far. The game is not about just your personality, it's about making moves, like the moves that you've been making in the past few days. All those blindsides have been orchestrated by you, and because I've been the target, or one of the names thrown out during those nights, I just had to go along. I think the biggest threat is someone who takes charge and leads, and that is much more you than it is me.
making moves is a way to get to the end, but the bottom line comes to no one's going to want to vote for someone that they're annoyed with. You haven't annoyed anyone. So, yeah, I'm going to try and pitch if I get to the end that I've done things. But at the same time, if we're going in there where people are annoyed at me to begin with, I don't know how much I can sway them. You don't have to sway people at this point. To me, you're going into the final three, if you make it there, with the votes, and the rest of the four of us have to try and steal them from you. We have to try and convince the jury that we deserve it more than you. So yes, maybe any of the four of us could go in and convince the jury, vote us over you, but I still think we're fighting the uphill battle while you're standing at the top of the mountain with the crown already on.
Okay, what's interesting to me, Daniel has individual exemption, and then the idea that it's only between two of the other players. Is this an accurate read, Rob?
Docs, you know what I feel about going into Crossroads.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking
People
you.
can tell me until they're blue in the face that I'm safe, and in the back of my head, I'll just be thinking like, oh, they're lying to me, regardless of whether they are or aren't. So I'm still nervous as always. I'm also not expecting a compass to be played on me. If one is, I will be grateful, but it's not something that I am doing to sort of get as a reward for anything.
To put it out there, the reason I think Justin is going after me and not Rob or Gideon is because there is a fair chance Daniel will play a compass on Rob. And in terms of Gideon, what Justin told me is that, oh yeah, it doesn't matter if I take him to final three. I can just tell the jury that, oh, he's been voted off, and that would just be an easy win. So that's the reason he told me why.
I never said it would be an easy win. I said the one thing I can use against Gideon is, yes, he has been voted off. And once again, I don't have anything to use against you. There's nothing I can go against with you and the jury and be like, this is why you shouldn't vote Ryan to win. If I sit with you at that point, I once again think you're walking in there with the votes and I have to try and steal them from you. And I don't see a way that I can do that.
And I'm going to go to Gideon as well. I have a question for Gideon before we go to the vote. You're vulnerable tonight. I already talked to Rob. Do you like seeing the Justin Ryan debate when you're vulnerable, or are they bringing up good points?
They both bring up good points. But it doesn't make me feel any safer. Because I'm still vulnerable and still can be voted out. This game, it doesn't move in a linear fashion. It's up and down, and I could just as well go home just as much as the other two guys who aren't going to be safe after the compass gets played. So, yeah, I don't like seeing them fight either, because we worked together last time, but it's how it has to go, because I think we all know that eventually, and I had to do this with Ryan on another tribe. Eventually it does come down to you have to eat each other, and it sucks, but it's part of the game. So,
all right, does anybody else have anything they'd like to add before we vote? All right, Daniel has the individual exemption tonight. Are you keeping it?
Yeah, I'm gonna hang on to it.
Okay, Daniel is keeping exemption, so you may not vote for Daniel tonight. And let's go vote. All right, I have the votes. If you have a hidden advantage that you'd like to play, now's the time to do so.
All right, Docs. I believe in taking care of people that are willing to stick their necks out for me, so I'm playing my compass for Rob.
Daniel does have a compass. Any votes for Rob tonight will not count. Our first vote is for Justin. Our second vote is for Ryan. That's one for Justin, one for Ryan. Our third vote is for Ryan. That's two for Ryan, one for Justin. Our fourth vote is for Ryan. That's 3 votes for Ryan, 1 for Justin. That's enough. Ryan, you've been voted out of the game. Do you have any last words for the party?
You all are great people, despite the gameplay and the tricky moves, the sneakiness and the sliminess. You all are at heart great people, and I just want to say that I'm honored to have played this game with each and every single one of you, and I really want to connect with you guys in the future, so definitely hit me up. But good luck, and thank you for having me here.
If you guys want to head back to camp, Ryan, stick around here. We'll tell you about the jury. Everybody else, lights out at 11.
It's been wonderful playing with you. I think this is going to be the end of the road.
Ryan, I hope if it's not you, I hope it's me. Because I don't want to see your face knowing I betrayed you.
Ryan, I'm sorry, but you are the odds-on favorite to win this game, and I gotta hope that everyone sees it like I do.
Ryan, I love you. I think you're great, but you are a big threat in this game. I think you had a great pitch at trying to de-escalate what target you are, but I'm sorry, I'm voting for you tonight.
Justin, you're a great player. Between you and me, and we both don't want to be ourselves, so you.
The lovable Ryan finally, unfortunately, succumbs to being so lovable. Yeah, I mean, it was looking good for him. He was managing to jump back and forth. He was lying. No one was picking up on it, but unfortunately, in the end, they all saw what he did.
It was really the only move.
Yeah, smart play by the remaining 4. So we are left now with 3 former Team Janet players, Daniel, Justin, and Rob, and then the lone Ethan explorer, Gideon, who has managed to outlast the rest of Team Ethan despite being on the bottom right at the beginning of the game, despite being swapped to the minority, getting voted off of that party onto the next party. He has managed to creep his way now all the way to the final 4, where anything can happen.
If he wins the next competition, he's got a seat in the finals. And you know what? The jury's made up of Ethan members, so...
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the former party lines come into play when we're voting for a winner.
If you can deliver a good jury pitch, you never know how the results might turn out.
And yeah, on to the final 4.
The best part about being in the final 4 is I don't have to stress about advantages anymore.
The final 5 vote was surprisingly straightforward considering how the game has been going. It went unanimously on Ryan. He voted for Justin. I think Ryan saw the writing on the wall pretty early. And I think even if I hadn't won exemption, I would have been safe, but it's also just a cool thing to check off my bucket list. So today we have one job: keep Gideon from winning exemption.
Neil had told me maybe we vote Gideon out instead, but I was able to, I think, convince him Ryan's really the better move here since he is such a likable person, and if we end up in the final ascent against Gideon, it's an easier sell for any of us to get that win over Gideon than it would be over Ryan, who's never been voted out of the game like Gideon has. But it seems that there is, Ryan doesn't seem to fully understand the impact that a pure strategy game could have in terms of creating a bitter jury who could then hold back the win from a strategic player like Justin and give it to a less strategic, kinder player like Ryan. And I'm hoping that I can fit into that slot at Final Ascent and make the case for me to win by basically showcasing that I've played a very social game, have been on good terms, had decent jury management skills throughout the rendezvous phase of this game, and had good intuition in terms of finding the right folks to make my alliances with from day 0, where I initially said I wanted to work with Daniel and Maddie, even though our big connection at the time was just that we live in DC together. Like, it's not a whole lot to go off, but it turned out to be a powerhouse alliance.
We need to get Gideon out of the game. I want the final 3 to be me, Rob, and Justin. So if he wins, we have to pivot and probably target Justin, but I will not be a happy camper if that's the case.
If it's not a final 2 and it is a final 3, I don't want to be in the end with Gideon. So it's all going to come down to if I get some kind of indication that it will be a final 2. I'm still playing this game as if it's going to be a final 3, and the worst case scenario is Gideon wins immunity. because I think it's going to be really tough to squeak out a win against him. And at that point, I don't think I might get any votes. So I have to try and win that challenge.
Oh, baby, I've been waiting for this one.
For phase 1 of today's challenge, you're going to set up those 8 cups that you already wrote the numbers on with your Sharpie marker. Grab your paper plate ring with your 10 feet of string attached. Stand behind the 8-foot mark, and you're going to toss your ring attached to the string. Your goal is to use the ring attached to the string to land it around the cups and then pull the cup back to you. Your goal is to be one of the first 3 explorers to get all 8 of your cups across the 8-foot line to move on to phase number 2. Phase number 2 of the final exemption challenge is the mental and dexterity portion. On the screen, you will see displayed a math equation that has numbers that have to do with expedition and survivor. All of the digits that you need to solve this equation are on the bottoms of your cups. So you'll take the cups, put them in the correct order to solve the equation, and ask for a mod check. Once the mod has given you a thumbs up that you have the numbers in the correct order, pick up your notebook or your whiteboard and start solving the equation. Once you have solved the equation, don't just hold up your answer to the screen. That's when it's time to pull out your playing cards. Once you have laid out your cards, taken a picture of it, and sent it to me in a direct message, I will either tell you, nope, you have to try again, or give you the thumbs up. And that number will determine how many cup jumps you need to do. For a cup jump, you take 2 of those solo cups, put them openings together, and using one hand, you will toss the top cup up into the air and catch it inside the bottom cup, like that. The first 2 explorers to complete all of their cup jumps successfully moves on to phase number 3. Phase 3 of today's final exemption challenge is the endurance phase. Before phase 3 begins, you will need to take 2 of your solo cups to the floor like this. Make sure you have your 3 spoons on hand where you can easily reach them from where your cups are positioned, as well as your 3 ping pong balls. You're going to be standing on your tiptoes with your heels over top of these solo cups. We'll give you a 15-second countdown to get into position. Make sure you can reach your spoons and your ping pong balls. And one at a time, you're going to be placing the spoon between your teeth or your lips and balancing a ping pong ball on the end of the spoon. Every 5 minutes, you will be adding an additional spoon and an additional ping pong ball. Your goal is to stay up on your toes and have all 3 spoons with all 3 ping pong balls balanced. If a ping pong ball drops or if your heels drop, you are eliminated from the challenge. The explorer who lasts the longest wins exemption and secures their spot at the final ascent. Good luck.
All right, welcome to our final exemption challenge. We're down to our final 4 of Daniel, Gideon, Justin, and Rob. Today, our explorers are competing in 3 phases for this final 4 challenge. In each phase, or after each phase, 1 explorer will be eliminated from the exemption challenge. Our last explorer standing will win exemption and a free pass to the final 3. You guys ready to go?
Okay.
All right. Let's
Oh,
get
yeah.
this thing started.
Who's
I'll
gonna
count you
punch
down
that
from
big 3 ticket?
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Another super original challenge by our challenge coordinator, Jeff.
Ooh, Gideon off to a hot start.
Yep. We've also,
Justin's got one. Daniel's got one. Rob.
Oh, looks like Daniel has another one. Oh, he's trying to pull in 2 with that one, but
Ooh.
I think slow and steady wins the race on this one. You don't want to rush it too much. You want to make sure you bring a cup back with every pull. Oh, then again, Justin breaks the game by just ripping that one back. Oh. Uh-oh. Now he's got a runaway cup. That strategy
Yeah,
seemed
Justin,
like a
good
idea.
strategy. I mean, good thought behind it. He's just going to have to collect some.
Yeah, he's got that one cup that's rolled off screen there to the left that he's going to have to figure out. I don't know. I think went a little too hard on that one. We're going to have to see how that plays out. Gideon's got a couple. Daniel's having a rough time. Rob's having a really tough time getting it going here. He does have the one cup.
This looks like a fun challenge if you're good at it.
Yep. Which Gideon with another cup has
Yeah.
brought another one. Justin is just trying to smash his way through this challenge.
Gideon is definitely good at these odd tasks. I
Yeah.
kind of feel like maybe he's done some lassoing in another life.
He's definitely been a cowboy in the past life for sure. No one can doubt that right now.
Oh, okay. Look, Justin's pretty...
getting it going. Justin's gonna have a tough time though with the cup that's off screen and that
Yeah,
one
the
that's
one
right
on
up
the
against the
carpet.
table now. Yeesh. I don't want to be in Justin's spot right now. Daniel's only got 2 cups left. Gideon is definitely close. It's hard to see because we can't see Gideon's cups. We know they're all there. We had them checked before the challenge. But
Can I reset these? I can't get to them. I have 3 more.
Set up. Yeah, you have to reset
Yeah.
the ones that you haven't got yet.
Okay.
Let's see what he's got.
Yeah. Looks like they're letting him reset there. And unfortunately, it does the same thing over again.
It was a good strategy, but if it disperses them, then
Yeah. It looks like Rob is starting to get it together now. He's only a couple cups away. Daniel just has the 1 cup.
yep, Gideon's got 1 cup too.
I love how Daniel's cleaning up his mess as he goes along, too. I don't know if there's extra points for that, but there should be.
You get a gold star, Daniel.
Gideon's
Justin.
rushing it a little bit. Looks like Gideon's caught up in the string. That's going to cost him a few seconds here. Is it in his sand? How does that even happen? Okay.
Daniel looks like he's done.
Daniel's
He
got it
moves on.
first to finish. So it looks like everyone's close at this point.
Yeah, oh, Justin just put one to the side again.
Yeah, Justin's wham bam style is definitely coming back to haunt him at the moment. Oh, Rob gets lucky there. Just needs to pull it in. Looks like Rob only has 1 cup left. Gideon has finished. So it's between Justin and Rob. They both have. Justin has 2 cups left. Rob just has 1. Oh no, looks like Rob has 1 off screen too.
Justin and Rob competing for that last spot.
They both have 2 cups left.
I don't think I'm muted either, and I'm getting frustrated.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You let it out, Justin. If you need to drop an F-bomb, you do that.
Yeah, we can edit it out. No big deal.
The final floor just does that to you.
Oh, Justin's on his last cup. We only see 1 cup from Rob there. So it looks like they're both on their last cup here.
I think this is a moment where he could use the dog to come push the cup inside.
Yeah. Oh, dogs would let it go for sure. Okay, he's got it in a good spot. Yep, that looks like it's going to work. All he's got to do is drop it on it now. Pull it in. Really taking his time with it. Rob's going to need a miracle right now. Big throw here, Rob. Nope, not going to do it. As Justin is finished.
And that's it for Justin.
Unfortunately for Rob.
Justin has moved on.
Exemption win, add to
Rob,
exemption.
I'm sorry you have been eliminated from the
stressed me
final
out for
exemption
him.
challenge, but you can stick around and watch
Close
the
one,
next
yeah.
3
Justin's
compete.
definitely got to be feeling the heat a bit, so...
Sounds good. Good luck,
home.
guys. Well, I've been eliminated from the first phase of final exemption, so I am cracking a beverage and watching these fools deck it out behind me.
Go, it's on.
Okay, number of explorers at rendezvous plus the season number Ethan won Survivor times number of explorers on each party at the swap minus the number season Janet played Survivor divided by the number of explorers on day 1.
All right. So you have to have a good memory, and you have to know your PEMDAS.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah.
The
That's
swap
gonna come
was
into
at
play
6.
too, isn't it? So that means it'll be 3 times. How many were at the swap? I don't even remember. 7
Was
7,
it
14.
6 or 7 in each party?
Yeah, so 7.
Alright, can I get mine checked as
So
well?
3 times 7 is 21. The number Janet played on was 39. Number of explorers.
Are you able to see that at all?
No.
We're having trouble seeing that, Daniel.
Can I DM some of the numbers? My things aren't written either. Who should I send it to?
Challenge coordinator
You can
Jess.
send it to challenge coordinator Jess.
Okay,
I'm
thank
gonna do
you.
the same thing, Jess.
There we go. These guys think they have it. I'm still confused.
Yeah, same. I need a calculator.
Janet was season
Justin looks
39.
deep in thought right now.
Number of explorers on day 1.
So it's 16 times
Thanks, Jess.
16 plus 3 times 7.
Somebody tells me they're not using bad math.
39 divided by 16. Did you get, what did you get for your number?
I'm getting a decimal.
5.875. That's what I got. Plus 3
Oh, you're supposed to get a decimal.
times.
How many decimal points do we have to go to, do you think?
Yeah, I did not get this right. I don't know where I screwed this one up. Oh, okay. I did not read. Reading is key.
For the math, we just go in order of that it says, right? We don't have to go by like proper math order.
You mean PEMDAS?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
PEMDAS.
29.5 something, but we gotta round up.
Oh.
Get it.
In this game, we respect the laws of mathematics.
Daniel, Justin, and Gideon trying to figure out the answer here. We already know it's going to multiple decimal points, so this is no easy task.
Justin got it.
Justin has the answer.
Justin got it right, so he's going to the cup jump portion.
Okay, so now he just needs to flip the cups. He's got 1. I don't know how many he has to do. 30.
Alright, Jess, I just sent you a picture.
I think he's got to do 30.
I am really glad that this was not in the season 1 final leg because I would not make it past this portion.
Daniel, you can start your cup jumps.
Oh, Daniel has now got the
right.
correct answer.
Daniel, correct.
Pressure on Gideon
I just
now.
sent you one.
Gideon, that's not correct.
Oh, Gideon doesn't get the right answer. He's falling behind now. As he can't. Although they're having a little bit of trouble with the cup jumps, so maybe he's got an extra minute here.
Gideon, I think you actually sent me the same pictures last time.
What?
Uh-oh.
Thank you for letting me know. Oh yeah, I did. Sorry.
Uh-oh, tech issues. Wouldn't expect that from the youngest member of the Final Four here.
The most techie member, too.
Right? But
Hopefully he's new.
When you're stressing.
When you're stressing.
It's little things, right? Daniel's having trouble getting these cup jumps.
My Discord's not letting me send pictures.
You just want to show me?
Yeah, just show it here. They got it right already, so you're not giving
they got
anything
it
away.
right already.
Okay.
Gideon losing time here.
I think he's
You
got
can
it.
start your cup jumps.
Yep. Here we
All right,
go.
Gideon is
Gideon's
ready
doing
for
it.
his cup jump. All three explorers are now doing their cup jumps.
So Justin has 9 done. Daniel has 5 so far. This is pressure packed. Looks like Gideon's got 1.
Justin is at 10.
I think once you get in the hang of these, they become a whole lot easier. So far I'm 2 for 2.
I'm at 4, I think.
3 for 3. Woo! I don't think I ever have these challenges.
Daniel
really
at
good
10.
when I'm playing.
Yep.
The explorer gods were not on your side.
No, I actually think I could do this every time. Uh-oh. So Justin's in the lead right now with 20. Ooh, nerves are getting to these guys. You can see Gideon rushing. He's got to take his time.
Daniel 20.
Daniel's at 20 now, so they are tied. Gideon just gets another one. Gideon's at 21. Daniel looks like he's at 29.
There we go.
Daniel moves on to the next round.
Battling
We have
out.
one more spot between
Justin and Gideon. Justin's a little farther.
Justin just completed.
And it's Justin.
Oh,
Justin moves on
Gideon.
to the last round against Daniel. Gideon has been eliminated from the final exemption challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, our explorers are set up for the phase 3. All right, I'm going to count you down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. This challenge is underway.
So this challenge is just going to mostly suck for these guys.
Yeah. This one is geared for the ladies who have the experience wearing heels.
Oh, Justin falls
Just like
right
that,
away.
it's already over.
That's it.
Justin has dropped.
Insurance challenge I think we've ever had.
Daniel has won final exemption. Congratulations,
Wow,
Daniel.
great job, Daniel.
It was a-
Nice job, man. Oh man, I couldn't hold that thing steady at all.
I did not see that coming.
There was a lot
No,
of
I
setup
really
for
thought Justin
a little payoff there.
Can we get an
I thought there was
instant
plenty
replay?
payoff.
Okay. All in the eye of the beholder. All right, gentlemen, we are going to send
Never
you
got
back
that
to
ping
camp.
pong
We're going to
ball
give
settled.
you 30 minutes to discuss.
What you thinking, man?
Can I be honest? I'm thinking you tonight.
Alright.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
Well, I was hoping I could sway you to Justin, but, I get it.
So yeah,
100%.
I'm 100% writing his name down. I'm not sending this to a tie with him or me and Rob.
No, there would be no reason to. I feel very confident Rob will vote him as well.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense for us not to. I don't think he loses against any of us.
I don't think so either. I think you'd maybe have an outside shot against him. I'd maybe have an outside shot against him. But I think we're both better off against one another than against him. And, because he would get all the Ethan votes. So one of us would have to sweep the rest of them just to force a tiebreaker.
Just to tie him. Yeah. So, and at that point, it's like you're hoping that everyone else votes. And I have a feeling Kyle's the biggest wild card to me where I don't think...
No idea what he's going to do.
I don't think he's going to be happy with any of me, you, Rob, because he saved me and you two were supposed to be like with him from the swap. So he's the one who I don't...
I wouldn't be surprised if he votes Rob, but if I was a betting man, I think it'll come down to me or you at the end.
That I would honestly say the same. I think it would. That's what I've thought for a while now. That you're probably. I would assume you're going to hold on to Jared, Maddie, and I think Kyle's probably going to go in your favor. I think Chantel will probably go in your favor.
No, Chantel really does not like me.
Then she might go Rob because I don't think I have any shot at her vote.
Although they might be talking right now about getting me out. Which I think Daniel would probably be okay with if he knows that I'm going to vote for him in the jury. So, But I do think you've got a solid pitch, and I think Daniel would be receptive to at least hearing it.
And honestly, if it was me who had won and Gideon's trying to pitch, like, let me at least go to a tie for it, it's almost like at that point, like, I'm not going to give you even more stuff to bring to your jury resume.
Well, because you're automatically giving that to somebody, right? Because then you're sitting next to someone who's won in the tie.
Exactly. So yeah, to me, I am just so happy you won it and not him, because if he won it, I would have been in a panic of what to do now. What's up, dude?
Ugh.
So, I mean, at this point, I think we both know it's me or you, right?
Does it have to be?
I feel like we're both in the same position that we were in last time with Ryan. I don't think it makes sense for either of us to really put the other one into a tiebreaker. Just, you know what I mean? I mean, the two of them aren't voting for each other.
I don't want to write your name down.
I don't want to write yours down either, obviously. I feel like you're the only person in this game at this point, other than Jennifer, that I've had any form of alliance with. But with Daniel winning, I feel like there's no choice at this point. Like, I don't really know either. Like, if we both write Rob, it's like, first of all, I think Rob's the easiest to beat.
All right, man. Well, when I'm on the jury, you got my vote.
Hey, no, can you not say that tonight if we go to Crossroads?
All right. I mean, it's true. You've played I think you played a better game than I have, and you legit have my vote.
Where my head is at right now, I'm definitely not voting Rob.
Of course.
So I am still deliberating between you and Justin, but in the interest of transparency, I'm leaning toward voting for you at this point. I'm open to hearing your argument, but I just, there's no point in lying to you right now.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I think he's the bigger threat than me for a multitude of reasons. One is he's controlled the moves and made the moves with my tribe, and I haven't. He saved my tribe from being decimated by you guys. It wasn't me, it was him that made the Jared move. He also made the move to go to Rocks, so I think that's pretty ballsy of him as well. Coupled with the fact that, I mean, he is pretty well-spoken, more well-spoken than me, in front of a jury. And, I just think, I do have that argument, like he said, that I have been voted out, and he doesn't have that, you know?
Yeah,
So,
it's true. I mean, I think the calculus I'm trying to do is whether I could actually get any of the Team Ethan votes if I'm sitting next to you. Maybe Ryan would go my way. I'm not sure, but I mean, Garrett and Gabe I've never been spoken to.
I blindsided Ryan. Garrett went home. I voted him out. Chantel, I disregarded Chantel not wanting to go for Maddie, and then she ended up getting voted out for it. Gabe, and I never saved him either. And then everybody.
Yeah, it would be 4v4, I think. If it were me and Rob sitting at the end, Justin would become the fourth Team Janet member.
Yeah, and I mean, if I go to the jury, I mean, shoot, Justin's played a good game. I mean, I could see why my vote would go to him too. I think he'd get more votes than I would. I really do.
Going into the Crossroads, Daniel will end up with exemption. Huge exemption for him, wasn't it, Jess? I mean,
biggest win of the season.
Yeah, I mean, he's had the power now over the last few Crossroads, which I'm sure it's going to be hard to ignore for the jury.
This is Daniel's to lose right now, and I know that he thinks bringing Gideon would take all the Ethan votes away from him, but I don't think that. He already got voted off. That's a strike against him. Justin has a great story. He crawled back from the bottom, made some big moves, and if anyone's going to win, it's going to be Justin. So if he keeps him, he might be shooting himself in the foot.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think any of the votes that are being assumed to be Gideon's locked-in votes are actually Justin's votes. I mean, Justin saved the bottom. He gave them life in the game afforded them the ability to last a little bit longer. Sure, he has flipped on more people in the game, but that's part of playing it. I mean, he's on the
He
bottom.
needed to.
It's absolutely. I was about to say, yeah, I believe that they were justified flips. Like, these aren't just, oh, I like you guys better, I'm going to go with you. It's like, no, I'm on the bottom here. I need to do something.
Yeah, their attitude about Justin has stayed the same throughout the whole season. They never worried about him in the beginning, and they're not worrying about him now. And that is a very, very big mistake by the two of them.
I think so as well. I think Justin definitely has a much better story than Gideon. But right now, as we go into this Crossroads, the light is shining down on Gideon. You can see it in his face. He's a bit dejected. I'm hoping he's going to come out firing here. Daniel promised him he would hear him out all the way till the end. So
yeah,
still somewhat up in the air here. But
will we go to a tie?
Yeah, we're going to have to see quite a performance from Gideon here. And,
if anyone can do it, Gideon can. So.
Absolutely, yeah. He has definitely had 9 lives in this game. If anyone can turn things around, Gideon is our guy. So let's send it on over to the Crossroads and see what he can do.
Welcome to our final Crossroads. We're here with our final 4. They will be voting somebody out who will become the final member of our jury. We had a long challenge this afternoon. It was done in 3 phases. Rob, you were the first one eliminated in the first phase. Then in the second phase, Justin and Daniel advanced, where Daniel won exemption tonight. Daniel, it's your 3rd exemption win, your 2nd in a row. Was it important that you won tonight, or more important that somebody else didn't win?
I'm not entirely sure whether I needed exemption, but I'm pretty happy that I'm not going to get to find out. I mean, I know that I have the person who I was planning to target, so obviously I'm happy that he didn't win, but I'm only 1 of 4 votes.
Justin, it was so close, yet so far. What was going through your head when that spoon fell?
Oh, God. I don't even think the spoon got into my mouth before it fell. So I don't think I had enough time to really think about winning that part of the challenge, because it was over before I even started. But, yeah. It sucked. It's always nice to just know that you're safe, but that was not what I was gonna win.
Let's get this question. Does Daniel have power with this vote, having one exemption, or did it not change anything?
I don't think it means that he has the power. I think it does mean he's exempt. And I could see in other seasons of Expedition Online, that could mean that whoever has the final immunity or final exemption does hold a lot of sway. But if it comes down to a straight 4-person vote tonight, I don't think that Daniel having exemption necessarily changes the direction of the votes. That said, if there's a wrinkle in the plans that the Expedition Online gods want to throw, that obviously could change things quite a bit.
Gideon, what's Rob saying? Is he saying that I'm the only person who doesn't know how the vote's going tonight?
Yeah, I tell you what, you'll probably figure out how the vote's gonna go. So, yeah, I mean, how I'm assuming it's gonna go is it's probably gonna be 3-1 on me, unless Daniel decides to let me make fire against Justin or whatever you do. If not, I'm probably done.
Is that a fair assessment, Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, the agreement I made to Gideon was that I would hear what he had to say, both when we were talking earlier as well as here in Crossroads. So I was upfront with him that while I hadn't 100% made up my mind, I was leaning toward voting for him. And so, I heard him out. I've been thinking about it, and I will continue to hear him out until it's my turn to vote.
Okay, so sounds like Daniel and Rob are voting together. Justin, it sounds like you know where you're voting. So you're hearing that there is a chance that there might be a tie. What's your pitch, Justin?
I'm not really looking for a tie this way. I told Gideon that I've got to vote him. So to me, it's more, I'm not looking for a tie. If they decide that it's me over Gideon, that Rob and Daniel are going to vote for, then I go out at 4. Otherwise, I'm hoping that they are seeing this the same way I am, and that Gideon's the one that needs to go tonight.
Why does Gideon need to go? I can ask this a different way, but I'll just ask that.
I think he's the biggest obstacle for any of the three of us to be sitting at the end with.
So much like, and Rob, is this a fair assessment? I mean, the Ryan vote did seem like it was, in the jury's eyes, Ryan is too big of a threat. Is that what you guys are talking about now? Is that what the consideration is for the vote?
Yes, the big consideration is, ultimately at the end of the day, some of us are going to be in the final three at final ascent, and who is the biggest threat to win that could block any of us from getting the jury votes? And right now, it is Gideon. At least in our eyes. The jury may feel differently.
Gideon, why is it a mistake for them to vote you out tonight?
I mean, it's a huge mistake. I'm the reason that most of my own team's on that jury, and Justin's the reason that they had any breath after the Jared vote. Without Justin orchestrating the Jared blindside, every team Ethan was toast. I voted out Garrett. I let the Gabe vote happen. I was the reason that Chantel went home because we targeted Maddie, and then I blindsided my closest ally, Ryan. I don't see how that's a strong connection to my own tribe. Meanwhile, Justin was the person that saved me, Ryan, and Chantel from the vote going on Jared. So I think that he's the biggest threat because he's been controlling the votes, and I think taking Justin to the end is suicide because as a jury member, you got to respect the best gameplay, and the person who's made the biggest moves and who has the best resume is Justin.
Then why is it a mistake to vote you out?
I don't think I'm saying more it's a mistake to keep Gideon more than anything. I think Gideon is underplaying the obstacles he had to overcome to get here, and while, yeah, I had a part in those votes, he voted with me on all of them, and he was always the underdog. I was the person who flipped to make those votes happen. He was the one who was on the bottom, who came to the top and was able to find his way from the bottom to the top. So while he says that I was the one who is a threat in the jury's eyes, I think he's a bigger threat than me, being the one who was on the bottom and took control of the game from the bottom.
You want to talk about the bottom, but you were far more on the bottom than I was, and I got voted out of the game, which is not a good look in the jury's eyes. You got saved from an idle play with Kyle and rose up from that, and you were still in the game from that, and then you rose through the ranks and blossomed into this amazing strategist that we saw after the Jared vote. Everybody thought you were a spaz beforehand, and then you just turned into this great, strategic player. I mean, you really do have a Cochran-esque like story if you go to the end. I mean, you're seen as this, eccentric, and you're kind of all over the place. You're making fireworks in tribal council early, and then all of a sudden you coordinate the Jared vote and take control of the game from that. I think that's a far better comeback than getting voted out of the game. Nobody respects Chris as a winner, but people do respect a Cochran.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter though if the audience respects it or not. Both of them still won, and I still think that you're the most likely to take the majority of the jury votes at this point. I think I have to, it's the same thing I said to Brian. I think I'm fighting to try and take votes away from you if I'm sitting at the end. I think it's the same thing with me versus Daniel. I'm fighting to take votes away from him. I have to convince people to vote for me. I think you go there and you already have your votes laid out for you.
Who do I have locked as a vote? Just wondering.
You want me to name multiple people, or do you want me to just name one?
Name people that you think I have locked, but I seriously don't see one person that I for sure have as locked from
Ryan. I think Ryan will 100% vote for you against any of the three of us. I honestly think any of the original Ethans will vote you, and maybe just because they want an Ethan to win at this point.
But you saved them, and I voted them out.
But it doesn't. I mean, I voted them out also. I voted the same way you since the Jared vote, so you're saying I saved them and then I took it away from them.
The thing is, right, if you look at the beginning, you see the names Gabe and Garrett.
I was the reason that Garrett went home because I had to vote for him or else it was going to be me. And then for Gabe, I let that vote happen and just stood by and watched, and I knew he was going home. And then after the Jared vote, you took control and you saved the team Ethan. So Chantel and Ryan have you to thank for the reason that they are the 5 and the 7 in the jury. Otherwise, they would probably be 4 and 5.
I mean, regardless, we still voted the same way with that. Like you're acting like
But the difference is I had to watch. The difference is I was your vote to spare. You used my vote, which is far more respectable in a jury sense.
I think you're pitching the Ryan try to us, like where people are going to overlook who they like more because of this. And I think you agreed last night, and now you're trying to spin it into, well, no, but you played better. I think you had a better relationship with almost everyone on that jury than I did.
I am far from the social threat that Ryan was, and I'm not going to let you paint a target on my face like you did to him.
I'm not saying that you're the same level as Ryan, but that doesn't mean you're not a higher level than me. Just because you're not the same level as Ryan doesn't mean that you're not higher than me.
I don't think I'm as likable as you are in a jury sense either, and I think you're way more well-spoken than I am.
So, Daniel, is this what you've been hearing back at camp? Is this new information?
It's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I mean, I think the spirit of their arguments is the same, but as we've seen, I think in a number of Crossroads, people in this game can be extremely good at saying the same thing in a lot of different ways.
Well, that's my challenge, is when do I jump in, because we do go around in circles a lot, yes. I love that you guys are fighting for your lives. That's what I want to see, so don't take it the wrong way.
I'm not going to give up, so...
Yeah, I don't want you guys to give up, so I like it.
I do the same thing in each of their positions.
All right. Daniel has individual exemption. Are you keeping it tonight?
Yeah, I think I'll hang on to it.
Okay. Daniel does have individual exemption, so you can't vote for him. And we'll go vote. Okay. I've got the votes. Our first vote is for Justin. Our second vote is for Gideon. Our third vote is for Gideon. And our fourth vote, an 8th member of the jury, is Gideon. Gideon, do you have any words for the party?
Go get him, Justin. And well played to all 3 of you.
Well played to yourself.
You as well.
All right, thanks, Gideon. You played a great game, but it's come to an end.
Gideon, unfortunately, becomes the 8th and final member of our jury.
Gideon fought.
He really did.
Gideon fought. All of his points were spot on.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, that was a great promotion for Justin going into the final ascent, as, Gideon threw it all on the line. And I agree, Jess. I really feel like his points were right on the mark. I think Daniel and Rob are going to have a tough time getting some of these votes from Justin that they just assumed were Gideon, which I don't think that was the case, but...
Gideon is going to be Justin's cheerleader in this too. Justin was the most solid alliance member he had in this whole game, and he's going to fight for his boy.
Yeah, I mean, he's already brought up a lot of great points that Justin, I'm sure, is going to piggyback on tomorrow. As much as he hated hearing it today, he's going to be quick to bring it up tomorrow, as they were great points for him. Somehow Daniel ends up being in the middle of this. I mean, Rob just doesn't want to be near any kind of move, it seems. It seems like a strategy at this point. It has to be.
I feel like Rob's going to be there to cheer on Daniel more than to cheer for his own game.
Yeah, I just don't know what he's going to say. I just don't know what his arguments are going to be at this point. Although if he's had this strategy all the way along, who knows? At this point, with only 8 members of the jury, you got 3 finalists. We could end up in a situation where 3 votes is enough to push a tie. And in a tie vote, anything can happen. So I'm not counting out anybody at this point, but it's definitely it's going to be between Justin and Daniel. If we're looking at resumes alone right now.
Yeah, it all comes down to how you sell yourself at the end of the game. So
absolutely, we are almost there. So
yeah, we'll see you for the final set.
We'll see you for the final ascent. For Jessica, Martin, and the whole Expedition Online team, I was Jonathan Dykes. This was Expedition Online Season 2. We'll see you guys next time for the finale.
It's been wonderful playing with you, but I just think you're too big a threat.
Go get him at Final Tribal Council, buddy.
I'm sorry, man. I really think you were my biggest obstacle, so I am voting for Gideon.
I'm sorry, Gideon. I really want a Janet to win, whether that's myself, Daniel, or Justin. I want to be Team Janet to the end and make her proud. And I also know that you probably would have won if we'd brought the one final Ethan all the way to Final Ascent.